12 years later, I'm finally proud to showcase my demo reel. Now I've uploaded my demo reel on my acting profiles, but this is the first time I'm gonna show you what my demo reel looks like today, this version. But first, I'm gonna show you what it looked like in year 2 of me starting my acting career. The interesting thing about when you start acting, you wanna put together a demo reel, and you'll do it by any means necessary because it gives you an advantage when you are submitted, unless it doesn't look that great. I started acting in Arlington, Texas when I was going to college, and I was hustling, trying to do anything I could to book work, get, commercial under my belt so I can join the union, so I can be union eligible. And I did those steps until I moved to LA. And then once I got to LA, I got representation, and the goal was to piece together a working demo reel, that'll get me in more rooms. And we're gonna watch that. It's gonna be something interesting because I'm gonna comment throughout it, but I haven't seen some of these clips in a long time, so they're gonna be pieced together, short, and then followed by a detective scene that I paid a company to shoot for me, and then we're gonna follow that up with what my demo reel currently looks like with all the footage that I've collected over the projects, over the years, the 90-second version, and then maybe down the line I'll post like the 2-minute and 30-second version. So let's jump into it. Let's take a look at my demo reels, year 2 versus year 12.
4D. Wow. That's like the space between 3D and 5D, except it's nothing you can see but feel.
That hair.
What's 5D?
Nah, 4D.
The stunt you're about.
Okay, so the guy that was in the scene with me, his name's Bill Parks, and he's been a working actor for a while now. And when I first moved to North Hollywood, I met him through a friend. And in fact, I was actually looking for places to live, and he was one of the prospects. He owned a home, and my friend at the time knew him. He's like, oh, no way. And so we played a little prank on him. I got to know him over the years, and he gave me some great tips on how to win the audition room. And one of my favorite ones was, he says, you want to go into a room or a meeting having this, almost like you have a secret that you know that the people in the room don't know. It gives you this aura of confidence. You have this almost like subtle smirk on your face where you're like, I know something you don't. But you go in there, you carry that power with you. It's pretty interesting. I started using that, and it was kind of cool because it kind of like removes that pressure of the audition, I think, when you have that. It takes practice because the audition rooms can be a little intimidating when you first start. So we shot that, something that I thought, you know what, I can go in for hippie roles or stoner roles because I have the afro, the curly hair, and the beard, and that's how that ended up in my demo reel. It was something I decided to shoot myself with my friends. Now we're jumping into this one, and it's a little commercial bit. This is, I normally wouldn't include a commercial clip in my demo reel, but I didn't have much footage, so let's check it out.
APS-C was performed by a professional comedian. Please do not try this at home.
Action!
When I first come to America, my first buy was Heinz ketchup. One funny time, I put Heinz under friend's door and holler, "Look on the door, I have secret." Well, maybe not so funny that time.
So the interesting thing about that commercial was that for a Heinz competition that was similar to the Doritos ones, and I got hired through my agency in Dallas, and I was in my car on the fence, like I was this close to not going because I was like, this feels silly. I don't want to do an accent. I said, you know what, whatever. I'll take the challenge. Let's go. Let's give it a go. Got paid for the opportunity, and then there was also a contingency in the contract where if we won, I think the prize was like 50 grand, that I would get a cut of that. So that was also pretty cool. Let's move on to this next one. This short here, it's called Clean People. Let's take a look.
این مرد نشسته پل من خیلی بیادبه نمیفهمه چی میگی آره
Jimmy Fallon, I don't know what that means, but...
شکل پسر کوچیک لباش تنش کرد
Whoa, that's great.
That right there was Clean People. It's a short film that I did with my buddy and mentor, Roy S. Ford. He had this idea of making this short film based around a character, Rodney, who's in the scene with me, who's just kind of clumsy, fumbles around, and he's just trying to make friends. Innocent guy, a little bit Mr. Bean-esque, and it was cool. It was a fun project to be a part of. It's the first time I actually got to like produce, and so that kind of lined up with my personality of like trying to take control, trying to make things happen. So that was done, and also it was kind of fun to be able to share with my friends. I was still in college at the time, so I brought home the DVD and played it back, and it was just cool to be on the screen and show people. That was Clean People, and that was probably the best piece of footage I had for a little while. And then I took it upon myself to shoot shoot a detective scene, and some of these companies, they will help you. They're demo reel companies, and that's like their business models, to help aspiring actors or aspiring to work as actors to basically shoot a clip that you can put in your demo reel that you can show off, that might trick the people that see them as maybe it's a clip from a show, or maybe it's a clip from a film of higher quality, higher stature. So we're gonna watch this detective scene. Let's check it out. So this is the detective scene, and we're in a car. They set up everything for you. The caveat I had was that I get to have my writer buddy who's in the scene with me rewrite the script, because they give you like a cookie cutter script, and a lot of people that do this, they end up looking like the same scene. And I made sure he got also equal exposure, because normally they would just shoot me and him like over the shoulder shots of him without even featuring him, and that would just look weird. So let's take a look at the scene.
All right.
Telling me, is it I?
Yeah.
Okay. How is it?
We have a ceasefire at the moment, but Amy sort of blows with the wind these days.
Hey, when I first made Detective, Julia was on me all the time. Real smooth out. I like Amy.
I like her too. Love her. And when she's not pissed at me, she wants to marry me, so glass half full, I guess. Fuck, man. I need more of that in my life today.
That shit today was rough. I know.
I've never seen anything like it. Maybe if we worked homicide, but that kid was in pieces.
It's not the daily.
Yeah, but it's the beat, right? That's what's out there for us.
All right, so that was a detective scene that I shot at Argentum in North Hollywood. From what I see in the Yelp reviews, it's not what it used to be like pre-pandemic. Anyway, my experience was good, but the caveats were in place. My writer friend had to rewrite the script. He had to be equally in the shot because they did the editing, and I didn't want it to be cookie cutter. So I think I ended up with some pretty decent footage for getting me auditions for anything that had to do with, rookie cop or detective or anything, FBI. All of those types of roles, I think, fell under that umbrella. That would help the imagination of the casting when they would see that clip, if they chose to watch it. Now, it's not better than actually having that kind of a role, but in some cases, it's better to have a clip like that than nothing, because you stand out more. So now that we're done with watching my clips and my demo reel from year 2, somewhere in the middle, we're gonna now watch the demo reel that I now have, that I'm proud of, and I'm gonna be premiering it here because no one else has seen it other than my reps, other than casting, who've been submitted to. So let's jump into this. Spoiler alert, this is gonna start with a clip from Special Ops Lioness, which if you haven't seen it yet, it's on Paramount Plus. Check it out. Don't watch this first clip. You can just fast forward if you don't want any spoilers. If you're okay with spoilers, this is, just a short clip from the show. And this is how we start my new demo reel, with a bang, with the clip from Taylor Sheridan's Special Ops Lioness. Let's jump into it.
You leave in tears. Then come back, then leave in tears again. Then Alia leaves in the morning, and more tears. You don't know her to cry for her. She doesn't know you. So, why the tears?
Because she's scared.
Women. They even tell the same lies. How they know to tell the same lies, it's a fucking mystery.
How was everything? Ryan?
So that was an awesome experience. It was such a cool experience to work on that show. I got to go to Baltimore, travel to Mallorca. That was shot in Mallorca, and it was unbelievable. Richie in the scene, who plays my guard, he was in actually more episodes than me. He was cool, and we became fast friends. Still talk to this day. I actually got along with all the cast members that I got to work with, and we were in like different groups. Of course, I didn't get to work with the cast that were part of like the DC group, but all in all, it was a blessing to be a part of, and it really reminded me that I'm in this for the long haul. So super blessed, awesome people. Liza in the scene was super professional, and I was able to really work well off of her. And then of course, Stephanie Noor, who plays my fiance on the show, she was amazing and so welcoming and made me feel like I belonged. So it was cool, and I'm proud to start my fresh reel with that clip. And I'll probably eventually show the full clip or full demo reel, the 2.5-minute one in a different post. Now we're gonna jump into Goliath, and with Mark Duplass and Ana de la Guerra, let's jump into this clip and see.
That wine was fucking divine. What was that again?
The Santa RALENO 2005.
The Santa Hula World. Let me get these plates out of your way. I love this guy.
That's what looks like a missing finger. They made me put a sleeve on it. So they green screened it out or keyed it out, as they say in the business. And Mark Duplass, super funny, had to keep a straight face. And also a little fun fact that wine bottle was a French wine bottle. And me knowing French kind of gave me a little advantage of being able to pronounce it with clarity in the audition room. Let's finish up this clip.
We need to run.
Yes, they're busy. She's gonna be the next mayor of Los Angeles, Marisol Silva.
I'm very aware, Mr. Wyatt. I'm a big fan.
So the interesting thing about that clip too is it was the first co-star that I booked where I actually got to speak. The previous one that I talk about for The Catch, I show up to set and I look at the sides, the script in my room, and there's no lines. And the role I auditioned for had lines, so it was bittersweet because it looked like I got upgraded as a role, Raul, but turned out I didn't have any lines, and it was like I said, bittersweet. So this one I finally got to speak, and I'm coming into the scene, and I have to bring this plate in, hit my mark, and the way I brought the plate in is I brought it like down here, and the camera 3 said, "Hey Ray, I need you to raise the plate because then you're not in the shot, or it's not in the shot." So I raise it up like to here, and he goes, "Too high. Can you lower it?" So then I lower it to here, and he's like, "Perfect. Can you do that when you stand on your mark and you start saying your lines?" So I had to like come in like, whoom, bam, have my eyes on my castmates and do my line. And the biggest game changer there was it really gave me perspective as to why some actors feel like it's so hard to break into this business. They can't risk having someone who's green to go there and fumble or not be able to hit their marks. They have 3 cameras running. Yes, it's all digital now, but so many people are in the room, so many people are counting on you to execute, to nail it. Every time they have to do a retake or adjust you, it's costing production thousands of dollars. It's costing the studio thousands of dollars. So that was a big aha of like, okay, these gatekeepers aren't gatekeepers just to be gatekeepers. They need to make sure that when you show up on set, you're professional and you're able to get the job done. And there's a lot that goes into it. So that was a pretty cool eye-opener. Now we're gonna jump into Night into Day, and this was the first audition that I booked through a self-tape. This is pre-pandemic, and it was cool. It was a cool experience to be able to like see that actually work. And I was like, self-tapes, like who's actually gonna book off of that? It led me to callbacks, and then at callbacks, I got to meet the director, Ben Hall. He gave me a note, I executed it, and he said that's the reason why I ended up booking it over the other candidates that made it to callbacks. So let's check it out. This is also available on Amazon if you'd like to watch it.
And escaped.
Escape what? Talk to me. Hold on. Stay right here.
The bomb shut them off. I think we're under attack. I have to get my things.
You need
We're
to
under
stay-
attack. I have to get my things. Did you think they wouldn't notice their
Fantastic actors. They were easy to play off of. We had fun. We did it in a day. Yeah, I mean, it's such a blessing because it was the first project that I booked under my management at the time. It wasn't enough money, so they eventually cut me. That's how this business can be, a little cutthroat. But I was happy to know that I could put an audition tape together, go into a callback, take a note. That's how me and my buddies, when we rehearse, we challenge each other. When we think we have the best take, we still decide, okay, let's do a fun one, or let's do one that's like completely different than what we think is right. And sometimes that ends up being the take we use because it removes the pressure. It's like, okay, heart that one, let's get ready to send that, but let's do one more just for fun. Let's see what happens. Because of that little skill, when I'm given a note in an audition room, I'm like there to play. I'm like, hey, check this out. This is what I got. So much of the dynamic of auditioning has to do with like how you come into the room, assuming you do the scene perfectly, how you come in and how you come out of the room. I want to say that's like 80% of the battle because you could be in your head and it could be taxing on you if you don't enjoy that whole process. Now we mostly lean on self-tapes, so that's pretty cool. That's an advantage for those who didn't get to master the audition room. I miss it. I thought I did pretty good at that, and took me years to hone that craft, that part of the craft. Now we're gonna jump into Castra, which if you look behind me, this is the poster on my wall, and this is a short film that I made with fellow filmmakers, Eduardo, and he was the producer of it. Gianluca Piovani directed it, and my buddy Robbie, who was in the detective scene with me, wrote this for me. This was originally supposed to be just a bunch of chopped up clips for my demo reel. We ended up making a short out of it. Let's take a look at this clip featuring my brother.
Sing. Do you understand? If we didn't find you, every single one of us here would be dead.
him down.
So that was Kasra. You can see the full version on my YouTube channel. And what an experience that was. It was a grind. It was a lot of work. I co-produced it. I was involved in the producing of the film. And it was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I also drove the U-Haul. They were 14 to 16-hour days. It was taxing. And I had the wherewithal to reshoot that basement scene because we shot it Friday. And I just knew something didn't click. So I pushed and pushed to have us reshoot that on Saturday at the end of the night. It ended up being much better. So I'm really pleased with that. Of course, massive obstacle came in when our AD, assistant director, day 3 just didn't show up. She just unannounced didn't show up. She was getting paid and it was a mystery. But luckily, Laura, she was our script supervisor. She stepped up, took over the responsibility of AD, and we made it happen. And thanks to Fabulous Cucina, Italian restaurant in Hollywood, who let us use their space to shoot a lot of that. They're very grateful. This right here is Grapple. It's a proof of concept that we shot, me and 2 of my buddies. We decided, hey, we want some fighting footage and we want to see kind of what we can do if we just put in our own money and try to do something proof of concept wise, which maybe could be turned into something bigger, better. At the end of the day, I wish we made a short, but this proof of concept was still cool. We got some really good high quality clips out of it, and I made a really good friend, the cinematographer, and turned out he was super talented, brought like top tier equipment, and now we're really good friends. Ignacio Walker, thank you. He has a lot of projects under his belt and he does a lot of stuff for BBC and wildlife. And so we became fast friends after this. We ended up watching Game of Thrones together. And so this is a good example of like how you can build relationships in the business. And we are also going to collaborate on a movie. The script is being fine-tuned as we speak. That's something I'm looking forward to. So let's watch this clip. And one other interesting thing I'll say is the owner of this place, Highest Done MMA, he taught us this little trick, this little move that you're about to see me do.
Take him down!
Yeah, I didn't know how to do that before.
Fuck! Hey, let's go again. What are you afraid of, bitch?
What'd you say?
I said try it again!
So that's it. That's my demo reel. Super proud of it. 16 years in the making, and it took a lot of time to piece together these elements to be able to basically book some co-stars that I added in there, some guest stars, and that's a condensed version. That's the 90-second version. I do have a 2-minute 30-second version as well as a 4-minute version, but that is too long for people's attention span. I will be adding those clips individually on my profiles and stuff, and I probably will upload the full version of my demo reel, the new one, here on my YouTube channel. And the moral of this whole story, why I decided to shoot this video and showcase my year 2 demo reel versus my year 16, is to show you how much can be done. And the majority of my best clips happen in the latter years. They were a result of me focusing on feeding my soul, putting the work in, going to classes, rehearsing, and just being ready for the opportunity. Being ready, being organized, putting behind me the party days and the quote-unquote networking to try to get a leg up. Those things are cool if you have something going for you, kind of like hiring a publicist. You can get places with a publicist, but if you don't have the talent to back it, if you don't have projects to back it, it's a waste of time and energy. I'm really proud of what I've done over these years. And I have to say the biggest factor aside from not quitting is the people I surrounded myself with. I had people that were honest, gave me feedback that I needed to. I shadowed a casting director years ago, and that was a really big revelation. Dan Shaner, he showed me on camera. We did a little tape session and he's like, the camera doesn't lie. The camera can pick up whether you're comfortable or uncomfortable, and it doesn't matter how much work you do outside of acting, nothing's gonna fix that. You have to work on yourself. You have to pull yourself out of whatever funk you are, and when you're in front of the camera, you have to be ready. You have to be ready to play and do the scene in a way that makes people think that they're watching something happen in real time. Aside from that experience, the biggest hero I would say is my agent Alicia, who kept me along over the years, the 7-year gap where I didn't book anything. She believed in me, she stuck with me, and that really helped give me the assurance that, you know, I have someone in my corner. So that was really cool to be able to have these wins, booking my first co-star, booking this project with Special Ops Lioness. We got to celebrate something that she saw at the very beginning when I first moved to LA. I got lucky. She took me on 2 months into my move, stuck with me, took me to the different agencies she went to, and then of course my family, my parents, my brothers, they've always been supportive of me. My parents became more supportive of me when I booked a Clint Eastwood project, when I booked a national commercial where I was able to show that I can make money, I can make a living doing this. You know, the validation really does a number on us, right? We want to seek validation from the people that are in our environment, in our lives. And once that's satisfied, you know, you can kind of move with a little bit more freedom. Once that validation is satisfied and you realize you're the only person that you need validation from. Are you doing the job? Are you doing the work? Are you showing up? And once you do that, there's so many factors out of our control that you can go to sleep at night with peace of mind knowing you did your best. And that's what really matters. So that's all I have for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it to see what you can do between a little 14-year gap as long as you stick with something and work on leveling up. So I wish you all the best, and until next time, peace.